So I realised that the last video I recorded on this camera was filmed in cinema colour, which looked wank, I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, working on the bike. So I just did a 150 mile ride in the bloody cold, and believe me, it was cold. Layered up, heat pads on, cold. But I'm cleaning it now, using that stuff. Well, I'm cleaning it using that stuff, and then I'm gonna polish it again before I cover it up. Anyway, this channel isn't just gonna be about motorbikes, although I imagine I'll probably put more motorbike content over on this channel rather than litter my main channel with that kind of stuff. If you don't like it, it's fair enough. Oosh! I wonder what's supposed to go on that. Maybe I did supposed to be something on that. I'll give you a look around this bike in a bit more detail before the battery goes. But it's like a 1850cc, so near enough 1900cc bike. In the light, you can kind of see the colours a bit better. It is a real metallic, shiny red, which it didn't show up on that previous video, but it does need polishing properly. I've got a friend of mine that does detailing to get all these fine cracks out. I'm gonna obviously I've just wiped this down, so it's a bit cloudy, but it has got a lot of airline scratches in it from being washed badly before. But hopefully I'm gonna get that sorted out a bit, cleaned a bit better. But it's currently on trade plates because it's come straight from the dealership. But look how sexy that back end is. Oh my goodness. Weirdly, this was the kind of bike that I was trying to make the Honda look kind of like, with the front fairing on, the panniers, and then the bags, the guards here, the fairings, sorry, is the word I'm looking for, the guard fairings. I kind of made that bike look sort of this style, and then I saw that, again, peer pressure into it. I don't feel comfortable spending that kind of money on this, not gonna lie, and still I have got buyer's remorse a little bit. Not that I don't love the bike, but the amount of money it's cost is just too much, and I shouldn't have done it. I've left myself a little bit not secure, and that's something I don't really like doing. I've gathered a certain amount of money in my bank account to make me feel secure if anything went wrong with this place, or taxman came and got me. I'm just joking about that one. Half joking about that one. The taxman could come and get me. I'm legit though, don't worry. I've sorted all that out. I've got an accountant, don't worry. But in case anything did go wrong, I'd saved an amount of money, and then it's just gone. It's in that now. Updates on these two are for sale, but I just want to keep that. It's just too sexy. That is just me in a bike, and I just love it. Don't want to sell it, but if it comes down to it, I will sell it. I've had a guy suggested coming to look at it to try and fix it. It's just got a little electrical fault, nothing major at all. But this one is the same, God knows why. But I've got an auto electrician that said they're going to try and get them both started. Well, we'll get them both started, because again, I don't think it's anything major, but once they're both running, there's no way I'm going to want to sell that. Honestly, that is just, for me, that is just my ideal bike. That is comfortable. That is just Asbo. And that, I loved it at the time. I do still love it. I do still like it. It's just got to go, I'm afraid. Anyway, polishing, doing. I've gathered a certain amount of money in my bank account to make me feel secure if anything went wrong with this place, or taxman came and got me. I'm just joking about that one. Half joking about that one. The taxman could come and get me. I'm legit though, don't worry. I've sorted all that out. I've got an accountant, don't worry. But in case anything did go wrong, I'd saved an amount of money, and then it's just gone. It's in that now. updates on these two are for sale, but I just want to keep that. It's just too sexy. That is just me in a bike, and I just love it. Don't want to sell it, but if it comes down to it, I will sell it. I've had a guy suggested coming to look at it to try and fix it. It's just got a little electrical fault, nothing major at all. But this one is the same. God knows why. But I've got an auto electrician that said he's going to try and get them both started. Well, we'll get them both started because, again, I don't think it's anything major. But once they're both running, there's no way I'm going to want to sell that. Honestly, that is just, for me, that is just my ideal bike. That is comfortable. That is just Asbo. And that, I loved it at the time. I do still love it. I do still like it. It's just got to go, I'm afraid. Anyway, polishing. So we're going with helmet cam now, which is a new one. Helmet cam, I'm going to show you around the bike and some of its features. So the main thing is, this is the key. It's just a key fob. It does have a little key on it, which is like a lock key, which fits on the panniers, and also for the fork lock, which is here, under there. However, it's actually got central locking, which I never expect to see on a motorbike. Bear in mind, I'm used to riding that doesn't even have clocks or indicators or anything. And now I'm on this, it's got central locking. So the central locking works to lock the panniers up, which is where I keep my equipment in there. By the way, I just did 150 miles today, as I've just said, and on the way back on the motorway, loads of people were flashing me and beeping at me, and it turns out that this had come open. So I was riding down the motorway like that. I couldn't see it in my mirrors because my mirrors are a bit higher, but then when I really had a look round, I could see it open. Nothing came out, there's nothing really in it apart from spares, but anyway, schoolboy error on that one. Another thing that really fucked me off about this bike was that any slight movement, I'll show you around this side, any slight movement, look at the stand, slight movement, it looks like the bike's about to fall off the stand. Now, given that this cost me so much money, that was a problem. And Harley Davidson phoned me to ask if everything was alright with the bike. And I said, well, actually, I've got this problem. And he explained it to me that it was a normal thing. And I was like, nope, that's not normal. My bike's about to fall over. And I would not listen to what he was saying. It carried on like that. And it almost, well, I thought it almost fell against that. But then I Googled it. And again, these are the bikes I'm used to riding. This is a bit different, but it has a unique stand mechanism here, if you can see that one in there, that once it's leaned over, it's locked in position there between those two things. So even though it appears like it moves backwards and forwards like this, it actually can't move. It can't physically move because that tab's locked. That was a sigh of relief, because I genuinely thought that the bike was going to fall over. Anyway, that was the biggest stress that I've had. So I'll get on it now and I'll show you. So you've seen the central lock-in. It is a heavy bike, I'm not going to lie. This thing weighs a ton. The front end is really, really heavy. It's heavy steering when you're riding slow, when you're pulling out of a junction. When it's upright, it's light as a feather, and it does actually handle really well, to be fair. Anyway, central locking is undone, the forks are unlocked. If my forks are locked, it'll tell me on this display here. If my stand's down, it'll tell me on this display here. Anyway, turn the ignition on, and hopefully it should tell me there that the stand is down. It's not going to do it now, just for the sake of it. Anyway, it might do it when I start it, actually. As you can see, that comes on. I'll start the bike. Sounds amazing. I'm going to turn the engine off but leave the ignition on. Obviously you can hear radio comes on. It's annoying that the radio comes on so loud. I'm sure that there's a way I can fix that, but it does. Accept the warning. Home. Connects to my phone. My phone goes in there. There's a USB port in there. My phone connects to USB or Bluetooth. It's a better connection through through the USB. Also better sound quality. This is a Christmas song, isn't it? I don't want Christmas songs on. Yeah, sat nav. I'll mute that actually. Sat nav, it goes. You got emergencies, recents, where to, point of interest, to dealerships. That's a cool thing. Also, the other day the fuel light came on, and it came up on the screen saying, "Do you want to navigate to a fuel station?" I thought that was an amazing thing. It told me already. Like, again, I'm used to that. It doesn't have anything on it. It doesn't even have a fuel gauge on it. I just have to guess when I'm running out of fuel. This thing's got a fuel gauge, and it tells me where the nearest petrol station is when the fuel light comes on. It's got a push-to-speak thing there, which activates Siri on my phone. I can toggle all this stuff here by these two thumb toggles here and here. So while I'm riding, I don't have to reach out. I can do it all here, like that. I've got cruise control, which is better than you'd expect it to be. I pretty much sat at 70. I could take my hand off to rest. Either side, to be fair, but mainly on the throttle side. I could take my hand off to rest. It was no problem. You can ride one-handed, not that I would recommend that, and just toggle that up, and that ups your miles per hour. That one slows you down. It's all just done by that hand. Amazing. There's probably a few other things. Indicators. One indicator's on one side, one's on the other, unlike some motorbikes where it's both on one side. I can go through my information and things like that on there. I can even, in fact, I'll show you on here. Tell me what air temperature is. Everything's on there. It's got. I've not gone through this menu actually before, but anyway, that's not the menu I wanted to show you. Where's the other menu? Oh, this one. So on here, it tells you the trip and everything. Oh, range. There was range there. I saw range. I'd not seen that one before. Range, 163 miles. But front tyre is 34 psi, rear tyre is 39 psi. It's got tyre pressures on there. Again, I'm used to that. That doesn't have anything. This has got all of that. Yeah, to start the bike, hazard switch, information, indicator, ignition on and off. I don't know what that one is. I've not pressed that one before. Favourites, what does that mean? Oh, right, favourite radio stations. Absolutely not. The radio is rubbish. But, again, I can lock my panniers up. Unlock the panniers, which I should have done on the motorway earlier, but didn't. This is a comms thing, but I don't have the comms thing, but I wouldn't have that anyway, probably. I don't really understand, I'll be honest, don't understand the speakers. I don't understand why you would want music playing out loud. I don't know where that has a time and a place to have that. I have it on, don't get me wrong, and I can just about hear it with the helmet on and road noise and that, but it's cool, don't get me wrong, but I just don't really. Again, I'm used to that where I can't hear anything, and then this one's got speakers and stuff on it. I'll go through it very briefly. I don't know what music's about to play, but it goes on my iPhone. I'm listening to Korn, and I'm doing that all from this toggle here. So as I'm driving, I just flick through, and that's it. And then the volume is just insane. Obviously this is distorted. But that was like less than 2/3 of the volume. It goes up loud. It's insane. Fuel cap is a little twisty and then a twist off, which is cool. So it's flush fitting, which is very sexy, I'm not going to lie. It's got this cool little emblem here, lights up. The panniers on the side are to eliminate draft on your legs, but that doesn't really do that because my legs were freezing earlier. cool little feature here. This little button here stops. It's got a little vent so you can let air through, but you can turn it off if you don't want it. That's about it, really. I don't think I'm going to modify it much, but there are 1 or 2 things I want to do. Potentially heated grips, but I'm not 100% sure about that. I don't know if I really need them, but that may be a thing that I do to it in future. I think that's it. Anyway, this is the first look around to see what it's doing. It's done 11,300 miles, and it's 2017, so about 2,200 miles a year-ish, which is not a lot of miles. Quite happy with that. I need to get this detailing done, definitely. I need to get it all buffed and stuff, but I've got somebody going to do that for me. Anyway. So that was a first look around the bike. I'll get some riding footage soon, but again, the weather's crap in England, and I don't really want to take it out too much with the rain and the salt and all that kind of stuff on the roads. Plus, we're going to get snow soon, no doubt. There's a lot of ice around, but I'll get some riding footage. And actually, when I get these working again, I'll get some footage of riding those as well. This one especially, because I know that some of you are going to want to see that. A bit more of that one riding, but that is it. The Street Glide CVO. Whew. Absolutely love it. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you soon. Bye.